Good morning. Would you please stand?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we beseech your divine guidance in this meeting. Keep us ever mindful of our obligation. Grant us, dear Lord, wisdom, tolerance, and courage that we may well serve our county and fulfill our trust. Amen.
I would like it to make a motion to approve the minutes of July 18th. I watched them on video. I wasn't here, but I believe they are correct.
Second.
Discussion? Roll?
Hambley?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes. Okay, first up, we have a,
Andy.
no, we have, sorry. You were not first up. We have a resolution of proclamation. A resolution proclaiming August 2023 as Child Support Awareness Month. Medina County recognizes the unique value and potential in each child, and Medina County believes in responsibility to promote and nurture their well-being. Child Support Awareness Month reminds us that children need the emotional and financial support of both parents to reach their full potential. These payments are crucial to provide. Was that payments or parents? These payments are crucial to provide everyday necessities for children in Medina County to help them become healthy and productive members of society. We recognize that non-custodial parents sometimes face barriers in meeting their obligations, and some require service and assistance to do so. Medina County Job and Family Services Child Support Division, with support from the Medina County Commissioners and community partners, Medina County Domestic Relations Court, Medina County Juvenile Court, Medina County Court of Common Pleas, Medina County Prosecutor's Office, Medina County Sheriff's Office, and the Medina County Clerk of Courts work together to develop child support service and assistance programs to efficiently and effectively collect, disperse child support payments, as well as be a model for child support enforcement throughout the state. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners, Medina, Ohio, hereby proclaim August 2023 as Child Support Awareness Month, and recognizes the importance that citizens, community agencies, faith groups, medical facilities, and businesses have in working together to ensure children's success.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Roll?
Hambley?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes. Okay. Debbie, you're coming up. Anyone else on the list? Come on up.
Sheriff Grice, come on up here, please. I invited I invited the courts, and but they weren't able to attend, so.
And say a few words after.
Okay, sure.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Oops. It's not upside. I'm always afraid it's upside down. Thank you. Thank you for this proclamation. Like I was going to do this as part of my department updates, but I'll just say it now. Through October of last year, through just last month, the Child Support Division has collected over $14 million in child support payments. So I think that speaks to not only the need that exists out there, but it's also an amazing and crucial support system to those youth within the county. And also these payments, they are often preventing children from, or families from, receiving public assistance, because they're receiving the amount of support payments that help them live full and successful lives. And also, some of these support payments, when children come into our care, they're diverted back to the agency to help the agency support those children that are in our care. So, and lastly, and probably as important, we have such a great relationship with the Sheriff's Department, with the courts, with the Prosecutor's Office, and the Clerk of Courts. I think we are very blessed within Medina County to have that type of relationship, because I go to other meetings and that's not always the case in other counties. So Medina County community members are certainly blessed, as is the agency. So thank you for this.
Thank you for coming, Sheriff. Okay, next up do we have any public comment regarding any resolutions for today? Okay, if not, we are moving on to Andy. You are up. Yeah, for sure.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have just two resolutions for you this morning. One is determining necessity to close county roads for a variety of upcoming road construction projects. And the second is approving the final plat for the Gelsman Farm subdivision located in Granger Township.
Move to approve the two resolutions.
Second.
Discussion? Roll?
Hambley?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Thank you. And you
Thank
should
you,
have
sir.
a weekly permit list.
Super, thanks.
Okay, next up, we have Jeremy Cinco, our sanitary engineer.
Morning, everyone.
Jeremy.
4 resolutions for consideration today. The first is approving the amount of unpaid utility bills for the Medina County Sanitary Engineer and providing their certification in accordance with Sections 6103.02 and 6117.02 of the Ohio Revised Code. The second is authorizing the sanitary engineer to request qualifications for professional design services for the Chippewa Wastewater Treatment Plant project. The third is authorizing change order number 3 for the Medina County Residential Solid Waste Campus project. And the last one is authorizing change order number 1 for the 2021 Home Sewage System Replacement Project Contract B.
Move to approve the 4 resolutions.
Second.
Discussion? Roll?
Hambley?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Jeremy.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Nicole Lee from Human Resources.
Morning.
Good morning.
I have 2 resolutions for you today. I have our personnel changes resolution. We have 3 new hires, 1 in sanitary, 1 at the Office for Older Adults, and 1 in transit. 5 rate increases, 1 at sanitary, 2 at JFS, 2 at the Office for Older Adults, 1 leave of absence at JFS, 1 return from leave at sanitary, 1 resignation in transit, and 1 probationary removal at county home. My second resolution is amending the table of organization for the Medina County Job and Family Services.
Move to approve the 2 resolutions.
Second.
Discussion? Roll?
Hambley?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Thank you.
Nicole. Next up, we have Brett Thomas, our finance director.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I have 9 resolutions for your consideration today. The first one is increasing appropriations for the Sheriff's Department. Our second resolution is transfers of appropriations across a couple of the different departments. Third resolution is expenditure adjustments for various funds that got put into different places. Our fourth resolution is revenue adjustments for, this one came in for the battered women's shelter that went into a different fund. Our fifth resolution is the move for the gasoline rotary fund. This is for May and June. So we are, all of that is now up and running, and our systems are working correctly for that going forward. The sixth resolution is purchase of gasoline. We have Ports Petroleum as the lowest bid there for 2.223 per gallon. Our seventh resolution is re-upping an agreement with Country View Auto Recycling for disposal of salvage vehicles for the sheriffs. The current contract expires on July 31st, so we're renewing. And our eighth resolution is expenses of county officials, travel expenses to various seminars. There is one out of state on this one for the sheriff's office down to Austin, Texas. And then finally, our ninth resolution is our weekly bills for the county in the amount of $1,147,821.09.
Move to approve the 9 resolutions.
Second.
Discussion? Roll?
Hambley?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes. Thank you, Brett.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Chris Jacob, our county administrator.
Good morning. First resolution this morning authorizes the placement of a renewal levy. This is for a 1 mil renewal for the social services levy in excess of the 10 mil limitation on the November 7th, 2023 ballot. This would be, if approved by the voters, would be for first levied in 2024, tax year 2024, and first collected in 2025. Next resolution approves an amendment to the lease agreement with the United States Department of Agriculture for office space at the county-owned facility located at 6090 Wedgwood Road. This is a 3-year extension effective October 1st, 2023. And the third and final resolution this morning authorizes a request for qualifications process for architectural design and engineering services for miscellaneous county facility projects. This is for any design fees that would be within the range of $25,000 to $50,000. Any qualifications received would then be eligible for 1 year for design work for miscellaneous projects that the county may have.
I move to approve the 3 resolutions.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah, I just wanted to say regarding the social services levy, obviously we've had a lot of discussion, and I just want to say I really strongly support, hope the voters, there'll be a lot to vote on in November, and don't forget how important this human services levy is to our community and the agencies that are providing essential services to seniors, those with addictions issues and mental health, as well as children's support services. So this is essential for the quality of life of Medina County, and just urge voters to not forget November, this is an important levy to consider, and hopefully they will support.
Yeah, and we're lucky that we have, you know, our department heads, Debbie comes every month and Laura comes every month to show what wonderful programs that are happening at Office for Older Adults and Jobs and Family Services, and then Philip comes quarterly, and we hear all the great work that Adam Board is doing. So all 3 agencies are really vital to the health and welfare of our community. So just had a question, so you'll send on what we need to Board of Elections?
Yeah, I'll work with the clerk of the board to make sure that gets there by tomorrow.
Thank you.
And I just, I think we've it's an investment the community's made to its credit, but I also think you can see the measurable results when we do get the updates.
Yes.
And even when we hear a transit update, I think we're going to see the uptick in Office of Older Adults activities that come through the transit department, and it's all a product of the investment the community makes in the levy in the first place. So I think continuing it makes great sense, and the renewal is the right way to go.
And yeah, stress that it is a renewal and it is no new tax increase. Roll?
Hambley?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our department reports. First up, we have our county recorder, Linda Hoffman.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Before you today, you have a very brief summary of the first 6 months of operation for the Recorder's Office and a little bit of a look back on where we've been since fiscal year 2020. We saw the most activity in our office actually in the middle of the pandemic, which is sort of counterintuitive, but there was a lot of real estate action. That then took a dip in 2022 and is still somewhat down in 2023. The number of documents we filed year to date are 10,346, and by comparison, and at the end of June last year, we were at 14,922. So the trend on the filing is still downward, although reports would seem to indicate increased real estate activity. We're not seeing that, and I think that's a measure that refinancing documents are still down. The option that we offer people to file their documents using electronic filing continues to be well received, and nearly 59% of all filings now are done electronically. As a result of the low filings, obviously revenue is down, and the 3 funds that we have. I would like to report one positive, and county residents who own property may not be aware that there's a free service available to them called the Property Fraud Alert Program. If you own real estate in Medina County, you can register to receive an alert if there's any document filed regarding your real estate. That would be if there's a mortgage, a lien, anybody attempts to refinance or transfer the property, you can now select how you wish to receive that alert. Previously, it was only by phone or email. The program made an update within the last 6 weeks. You can now request a text alert, and the program is now also available for Spanish-speaking residents, so you can elect to receive and register in Spanish. The information on that site is www.propertyfraudalert.com. You can also contact my office, and my staff will be happy to provide you with the phone number. There are some residents that aren't very tech savvy, don't have a computer, and we can provide the phone number for them to work with the program and register by phone. It's a very good service. When I came into office in 2020, there were only 770 residents involved in that program. We're now up to almost 2,900, and I think that's a good marker, and alerts are issued. Most of the time they are for legitimate reasons, but it's nice to know that this service is available, and unlike services that you see advertised on TV, this is a free service. You do not have to pay monthly for a subscription.
Can we have one of those, and we'll have Brian write something up
Sure.
for our newsletter?
Great.
Yeah. And I can't believe that your electronic filings are almost up to 60%. That's
Yeah.
extraordinary.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, next up we have Shannon Ryan, our transit director.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just an update on June. We're continuing to hire new staff. We've made some offerings to 3 drivers. One got through the process and is getting ready to get back out there and start working. It's good to know that we're continuing to hire drivers. It is a challenge, but that's something we are wanting to do. I attended some meetings the last couple of weeks here, and very positive results about transit from Medina City. That leads us into the Medina Flex coming up. The Medina Flex, just an education point for everybody. Some folks may not understand what we're trying to do, but ultimately there is a existing static city bus schedule in Medina. We're working on a flexible one, very much like, it's not identical to what happened in what we did in Wadsworth. This allows us to reduce miles, save fuel, and what's produced in Wadsworth, we believe it's going to produce even more in Medina City. Speaking with the Economic Development Group in Medina City coming up, I'm sure they're going to ask about taking people to work to several different places throughout the area and here in Medina. So we're really looking forward to that. We do need the buses, we do need the people, and that's what we're getting prepared to do coming up. I'd say in the next 4 to 5 weeks, we should be ready to do that. We want to make sure we're prepared and we communicate it properly. I'll be out riding buses. It really helped in Wadsworth to talk to the public, and I enjoy doing that. Some of the things that I'll note by the numbers, we're saving fuel, as I mentioned. We're saving miles, overall miles. Ridership, of course, is up a little bit. It continues to stay strong. Very excited to see that. Looking into our agency contracts, just put together, Commissioner Harrison asked for some numbers, and the numbers I had at my fingertips, but it really gives us a good look at what our agency production has been and what it is 2022 year-to-date versus 2023 year-to-date, and you'll see the job and family is up 26%, alternative path up. Achievement Center's down a little bit, veterans down, still strong, but as mentioned, the officer to adults, 10% more service for that group over last year-to-date. The agency demand is growing. The public demand is continuing to grow. We're working to meet those challenges, okay? I think what we're going to find is we're going to become more efficient as we move along with our Medina Flex and eventually into Brunswick. So all good news, just more folks want to ride, which is nice to see. So I think we'll be at the fair to talk about the Medina Flex, Medina City Flex. I want to make sure I say that Medina City Flex. But I'm really excited to see what the team's working hard to make sure that we meet all the needs of the community. And I think the new way of doing business is working from an efficiency and a production and overall satisfaction of our customers.
Great.
Let's say, unfortunately, our denial rate is going up. And that's because it's obviously becoming more popular, and it's because we don't have the buses as well as the staffing.
That is
Would be
correct.
Yeah.
Our staff is getting creative in their negotiations of when folks want to go, but absolutely, the demand is growing. We have the resources we have. Our capacity for scheduling has increased, which has allowed us to kind of prevent us from having denials in the past, but it's getting to that point right now, exactly. So we're getting better. we're going to meet the community need, but there always, unfortunately, will be folks that we can't transport and the public that we want to transport. My goal is 0 denials.
Agreed.
Okay?
And that you and I've discussed a lot of certain funding metrics are based on ridership.
Yep.
But tracking the demand, and is there, I mean, obviously it's great for internal purposes,
Mm-hmm.
but is there an external benefit to that in terms of, does that help us prove that the demand is there, that the ridership would increase, or is it we have to build it before the funding comes?
That's exactly well stated. I was just going to say, if you build it, they will come.
Yeah, yeah.
We do meet with the state. I think ridership overall across the state has dipped. It's starting to ramp up. We ramped up quicker than most.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of the way we're doing business.
But we're waiting for buses, though. Are we not?
We had 8 of the larger buses on order for over 1 year, and I speak to them weekly, our production. There's a delay in even producing the chassis. They haven't even started producing the bus yet. It's been a year. So our team does a really good job. I'm very happy. I wish Stephen was here. I could thank him and his staff. We always do. They do a great job of maintaining what we have. But the introduction of the new vans we had helped us tremendously, but we're still down 2 to 3 vehicles, which means our turnaround of maintenance has to be even more precise, and they are.
Right.
But it's difficult to maintain the fleet and provide the service that we have to provide with the growing ridership. So yeah, the buses, I went and picked up the buses from Cincinnati to go get them, and I'll be ready for those to come as well, but there isn't a date. There isn't a date.
Well, I just wonder, I know that this is, well, statewide or probably nationwide, the shortage on the buses.
Absolutely.
And as trying to focus the national and state resources to start addressing that issue. I mean, just as they've done in other areas, but this is one of considerable need with public transit agencies, is that lack of support.
I think, if you had to say 1 and then 1A, it's staffing and then buses, but some days it's buses and then staffing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Stacy Malakar from MCBDD.
We've got Debbie.
Oh, I'm sorry, Debbie. My check went over you. You're next, Debbie.
Okay.
I should have kept my glasses on.
I won't take long, Stacy. First, just 4 resolutions for your consideration this morning. The first is authorizing an agreement for foster and adoption recruitment and mentoring services between Job and Family Services and Lane Heaton. The next is authorizing the county auditor to transfer funds from the PCSA Workforce Grant Fund to the JFS Public Assistance Fund. The next is authorizing the county auditor to transfer funds from the JFS Children's Services 4E Fund to the JFS Public Assistance Fund. And the last one, authorizing the county auditor to transfer funds from the JFS Children's Services SCPA Fund to the JFS Public Assistance Fund.
Move to approve the 4 resolutions.
Second.
Discussion? Roll?
Hambley?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes.
And just 2 quick department updates. I already talked about child support earlier, but the Public Assistance Division, last month I shared with you that there's been an uptick in fraud and theft of benefits off of individuals' EBT SNAP cards. Maybe you weren't here. I don't remember. But that is happening. It's on the rise, just like with credit cards and bank accounts, things like that. But along with our own interior efforts, the state has offered a new lock option on individuals' EBT cards. Much like you can freeze your credit card, this is a lock feature that after they shop at the grocery store, they can go on a mobile app, click lock, it locks their card so no transactions can happen, not online, not at the stores, anything. And then when they go back to the store, they can open the app, hit the unlock button. So it's incredibly easy to use, which I'm grateful for. But anyone that has the EBT card does need to download that mobile Connect EBT app on their phone. I've shared this with Brian, so it was in last week's or 2 weeks ago, the most recent commissioner's newsletter. So that's out there for individuals to see. And then Child Protective, normally I give you statistics about the division, but I'm going to pivot from that and share this. So on July 14th, I actually received an email that Jen's Play and Learn, it's a locally owned child care business in Medina. They have an annual lemonade stand where the kids go out at the end of her driveway and have a lemonade stand. So the children from the daycare, they choose who they want to donate all their funds to. I think last year it was something for diapers, Medina for diapers or something like that. But this year they chose the children in foster care. So they sat out there and sold their lemonade and donated their dollars to the children that we have in care. They raised $235 for our foster children. So, and they gave that all back. Yeah, it's fantastic. So I'm humbled by their efforts, grateful for their donations. And also I couldn't help but be a little bit impressed by Jen's Play and Learn, teaching those children neighborhood commitment and giving back, as well as maybe a little bit of entrepreneurship. You know, go out
Was
there.
it one day?
One day, $235.
That's pretty good.
And if I recall, July 14th was not hot. Like, it was warm out on July 14th. So those kiddos sat out there and sold their lemonade and got $235 for children in their care. I've just recently shared this with Brian, so it will show up in the next commissioner's newsletter. And Jen's Play and Learn shared a picture, really cute picture of me with the children holding their little lemonade signs. So, and we have permission to share their picture. So it was fantastic. That's all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Stacy, you are now up.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, give you a little update about the county board. September is DSP Appreciation Month. And with that, I want to talk about the state budget. We're all aware of that we've been working hard to get those rates increased. And we're very thankful for the historic increase. Starting January 1st, there's going to be a 30% increase in rates. And then following on July 1st of next year, it will be 38% increase. Of that, county boards across the state have committed to 7.5% of that increase. So what that really means is that we're looking at, on average, for a DSP worker, $18 to $19 an hour. Interesting fact, in 2019, when Governor DeWine took office, the average wage for a DSP in 2019 was $11.12. So we are very thankful and very pleased, and we're hoping that's going to help the system. The other thing I want to talk about, our Leadership Academy. I've talked about that, and that pairs with the budget with the new mandate to appoint a person with developmental disabilities on the board. So we've been working and preparing for this. We're just about completing our first leadership class, and what we're looking at is giving people more skills, sharpening their toolbox so that they can be heard and part of their community. So they're working on things like, understanding what it means to be a leader and different roles, what it means to be on a board, how to communicate, how to listen, how to market themselves, and how to really put together an application or a resume and find out what they're interested in. We have one gentleman there that, as an underdog, he wants to be on the fair board, and so he has been actively, participating in that and making the connections and getting part of committees in that. So we're really pleased.
So that position, will it be an additional position to your board, or will it replace somebody who retires soon?
It will not be an additional. It will replace a vacancy.
Got it.
So the current board members can complete their term, and when a term is, and it's a commissioner appointment, if the probate judge position opens up and the probate judge chooses to choose one, then that would satisfy the commitment. Yeah. So, and it's new, so we're going to learn and kind of work through it and see how that works. But we're really excited. I think it's time, and it'll make a difference. Play and Learn Play Group. That has just blossomed. We've talked about that. There are a couple of our EI therapists that have started this Play and Learn and Grow Play Group. So I think I've talked about this, go to a community spot. They just had one in July. They went to the Fred Greenwood Park and Splash, and they had approximately 75 people. And again, that's open to anybody with a toddler. And so it's really nice to get that integrated play. And they've had a lot of success. Their next one will be held in September, and they're going to try to hit, 3 or 4 a year. They're going to see what fits and how the participation continues, but they've had a lot of great success. So it's a great program that they've started. The other thing we're really excited about is our support toolbox. What we have done, and we've created a YouTube page, and for anybody that supports a person with developmental disability, there are videos on there. They're short videos, and they're really, we've got a staff person that's very good at behavior management and really giving real life experiences of how to manage certain situations, how you can support someone in offering choice, planned ignored, problem solving, prompting sequences. So just another resource that if a parent, a grandparent, a provider, a DSP is working with somebody and they're racking their brain, how do we help this individual take that next step and be more successful? So we're going to continue to build on that, and just another resource for people. And of course, the last thing, our ice cream social was a huge success. And I've got to give a personal thank you to Aaron, who came out and was a first-time scooper. Yeah. Hopefully will be a...
My forearm is almost recovered.
Right.
That's tough work.
You start looking like Popeye, right?
Even in the heat, that's hard work.
So really appreciate it. We had a great time. The weather was perfect, and that's always a great event every year.
I have a question about DSP.
Yes.
So, first off, so the increases are effective January 1st.
Yes.
Are there any measures, we probably lack some latitude locally, but are there any measures being taken to preserve the ones we have in the meantime before they get the increase, to kind of incentivize them to stick around? Because I know attrition is a big problem in that world. Do we have any latitude to do anything about that locally?
We have, and we have been. So we have, during COVID, we've initiated a variety of financial incentives. We've done, one that has been successful is we have done a referral. So if you refer somebody and they, last 90 days, we are giving a referral bonus. The other thing that has been very helpful is with training. They're all required to do a certain amount of training. And if you're training and you're not working with somebody, you're unable to bill. You're unable to bring the dollars in. So what we've done as a county board is we said, listen, we're going to pay a standard set amount for each person that goes through training, so that will help the provider agency or the independent provider, be able to compensate that person without. So, and we had that retention. We also had the retention, which was a 6.5%, which rolled into that. So, and that was, run through the state. So if you work through that quarter, you got a retention bonus from the state. So there's a variety of things that we're trying to do, and trying to, one thing that we've also done is we'll do all the CPR and first aid certification for free. We'll do background checks for free. So again, that gives some latitude to the provider to use those funds elsewhere.
And will we see some uptick in training opportunities, or at least publicizing that? So as we approach January 1st, there'll be some people ready to hit the ground running?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Good.
The salary really was low for a long time,
It-
considering the level
yeah.
of service they give. So this is wonderful.
They could go to Taco Bell
I know.
and make more money, and so it, and this has been something that has been needed for years. As I've said 1,000 times, COVID just accelerated this crisis. So we're very pleased. We're very thankful to Governor DeWine and all the representatives, state representatives that have supported that, and we've partnered with providers really to work to get this out there. So
That's good stuff.
yeah, it is.
Good.
We're very pleased.
Anything else?
Nope.
Thank you, Stacy.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have no commissioners' resolutions today. Do we have any public comment? Okay, around the horn. Bethany, do you have anything?
Just that the latest unemployment rates released today for June show that Medina County's unemployment rate is at 3.7%.
Okay, 3.7% is our current unemployment rate, in case they couldn't hear you on the mic. Anything else? And that is considered, anything under 4 is considered excellent.
Anything under 5 is considered.
Oh, great. Excellent. Okay. Prosecutor, do you have anything? No. Anything more, Linda?
Just attend the Medina County Fair next week.
County Recorder encourages everyone to attend the Medina County Fair next week. Okay, Debbie, anything else?
No.
Chris, anything else? Steve?
Nope, nothing.
I just wanted to note that we did have a conversation, public meeting announcement is going out for August 24th, which will be a listening session sponsored by NOACA related to the Climate Action Plan, which we've chatted a lot about in prior meetings. So I wanted everybody to be aware that that's going to be on the calendar. And then Bethany and Denise Testa and I had a conversation yesterday with the folks at NOACA about scheduling a couple more of those. There'll be more details to follow. I think one is going to be more oriented to the economic development, membership, but will still be open, but it'll be more along the lines of an economic development meeting. And then the other one would be another public meeting, and we're trying to get various locations around the county represented, so we have convenient opportunities for people to attend those meetings, learn a little bit more, and share their feedback as well. So there'll be more information to follow on that. A lot of other steps too locally that we're doing that I'm not quite prepared to share an update on just yet, but we're working to kind of keep Medina's voice heard in that entire process.
So August 24th, you said it was a listening session?
That's what I'm calling it.
Okay. Who's
yeah.
listening and who's talking?
Well, it's a great question. I think it's always fair to ask that question in this organization. That we've been assured that there will be opportunities for the public to share their feedback.
Okay, good.
How facilitated that sharing is and becomes is, I think there'll be small group sessions and those kinds of things but it came up in our discussion yesterday. In that I said, because this is all in response to some problems they had with prior listening sessions that were, I think, oriented in the wrong direction, to your point. In this case, I said, more open-ended questions that produce dialogue as opposed to closed-ended questions that are designed to elicit a certain response. And my sense of that was that everybody was in agreement that that's how it should go. So another 6 weeks, I guess we'll find out for sure.
Okay.
And how was your event last week? Economic Development had a big summer event.
It went very well, very well.
Good. Did you have anything else?
That's all I have this week.
Okay, I will entertain a motion.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Roll.
Hambley?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes. Thank you so much. We'll see you all next week.